Things are not going so well for Fernando Tatis Jr., who, as you might remember, was regarded as a crucial member of the San Diego Padres. But recent events, including the player's run-in with PED, have forced the team to look for other options as the champ is currently battling a ruined reputation while in suspension. Wondering what might be next for him? Stay tuned as we go into the details for this in today's video. First up, here's what you need to know. Imagining the Padres without their star shortstop, Fernando Tatis Jr., seemed like an impossible task till a few weeks ago. But now, it's a harsh reality that the team might soon have to face. Just recently, the New York Post's John Heyman reported that the Padres are a completely unexpected team who's currently looking for a shortstop. What's more interesting is the fact that they just might have their eyes set on someone. The article written by Heyman also suggested that the Padres are currently inclined towards going after shortstop Xander Bogaerts. Now, this has got to change a lot of things for the player. And well, the poor guy is already down on his luck as he's currently suspended for using PED. Following up, what's going on with Tatis?
You really can't even see him. This is in to left, but out there is Fernando Tatis Jr.
So the player is currently away from the action, and there's hardly anything he can do about that, or the fact that his reputation as one of the brightest MLB players has been completely ruined. And well, that's bound to happen because the use of performance-enhancing drugs never sits well with anyone. Besides, he's got a lot of time to think about it all because the 80-game suspension he earned won't be ending until May 2023. Tatis Jr. had tested positive for clostebol on the 12th of August, and upon the release of results, the MLB Players Association released an explanation on his behalf, claiming that the player had only been taking the drug as it was part of a medication he was using to treat ringworm. Okay, but that's obviously a big lie. And turns out the young player thought so too, since he took a stand and confessed to using the PED without really backing up the ringworm story. Well, that must have taken a lot of courage. Now, what did the player have to say for himself? Soon after the results were released, Tatis Jr. talked to the media in a press conference and acknowledged his actions. He said that he took full responsibility for them and that during his time off, he'll be getting shoulder surgery in order to get himself fixed for his next season. The player apologized to his parents, his fans, the front office of the Padres, and his country.
I'm truly sorry. I am. I'm really sorry. I have let so many people down.
Stating that he'd made a terrible mistake and that his dreams had turned into his worst nightmares. What's interesting is that while the player didn't stand by the ringworm story, he didn't admit to using PEDs intentionally as well. But well, it's pretty clear that he'll be taking the enforced time off to get himself in the best position and of course get shoulder surgery, which he wasn't able to do during the season, even though his shoulder had sustained 4 dislocations in 2022. Next up, where will Tatis Jr. fit in upon his return to the team?
To center field, Fernando making his way back to make the catch.
It's obvious that his return might raise new challenges for the team, since we're assuming that a period of 80 games is enough for a team to move on. But once he does come back, we think that it would be better for him to stay in the outfield, since it would also help him during his adjusting period after the suspension. Now, this position won't be something new for the player, since due to his concerns raised by his injury, the team already had him on the outfield for some time. What's interesting is that this might be a more suited position for him. Well, we know that he's really good as a shortstop sometimes, but he's also prone to a lot of errors, leading to different defensive struggles. But this switch-up might help the team improve their defense. Well, we certainly are looking forward to seeing how this goes down. Now, what's next for the team?
There's a pop-up down the left field line. Tatis into foul ground. Fernando makes the catch.
Well, as we mentioned before, the team is dabbling into the free agency market, looking for a shortstop. The Padres are bent on winning and won't stop at anything less than that. The recent moves made by the team, including the trades of Juan Soto and Josh Bell, shows that they're aiming for their first World Series in the upcoming seasons. And although things might not have worked out for them just yet, the team is ready to take on the next step when it comes to finding the missing piece of their puzzle. And from what we know, the Boston Red Sox homegrown champ, Xander Bogaerts, has caught the eye of several teams, including the Padres. The player happens to be a 4-time All-Star and even contributed to a championship win in 2018. He's currently at the peak of his career and would certainly be bringing a lot of talent to the table, but it's definitely not going to be coming in cheap. The 30-year-old won't be signing any contract for less than $200 million, but hey, it's definitely going to be worth it if the Padres really do plan on getting a series win after all. That's all we have on how things are changing for Fernando Tatis Jr. following his performance-enhancing drug confession. Now, let's see if he'd be able to survive staying out of work for long.
Kim will score from third, and the Padres take a 3-2 lead. RBI single for Fernando Tatis Jr.
The player is currently out for an entire season, which roughly makes up 80 games. This would definitely be an opportunity for him to get a well-deserved break, but it's got to have quite the impact on his paycheck. In 2022, the player was projected to earn a base salary of $5 million, which was to be increased to $7 million in 2023. But with the team looking for a new shortstop and him missing a major chunk of the 2022 season, along with 23 games of the next one, things are looking a bit bleak for him. Granted that when he first joined the Padres in 2019, the player took the game by storm and completely dominated the field with his 22 home runs and 53 RBIs. People expected great things from him, but sadly, the young slugger has become one of the most controversial players in the league.
On the ground towards shortstop, Tatis was deep and short, throws on the run, and in time.
Moving on, here's more on Tatis Jr.'s salary and contract details. Okay, sit tight for this one, because there's a lot of green talk heading your way. That's right, the Padres had so much trust in Tatis that they basically threw money his way. He's currently got a 14-year contract going on with his team worth around $340 million.
Fly ball, deep left field. Crushed.
This included a signing bonus of $10 million and an average salary of $24 million. Yikes. We can't even imagine how the Padres front office felt when the news of his PED use was first released. Apart from this amazingly lucrative contract, he's also got a bunch of wild endorsement deals bringing him a lot of cash. The most famous and benefiting of them is definitely the one he has with Adidas, where he got to work on his own signature shoe. And besides this, he also has big-time deals with Gatorade, plus the MLB The Show video game. Coming up, is the player at any risk?
To short, lots of spin on it. Fernando's throw in time. Nice play.
Well, if all goes well for him and he continues to perform well, then we can't imagine the player having any money problems. His expected base salary for 2024 is $36 million, and we're not including any bonuses, so maybe he'll do just fine. And yes, it's true that his reputation has taken quite the hit since the PED scandal, but if the matter is dealt with properly, then he would be back to being a fan favorite. What's interesting is that while he's out for 80 games, the player still has a pretty secure financial situation. If you account for all his endorsements and the contract, then his net worth reaches up to a solid $10 million. That's honestly not that bad. Lastly, will he be able to bounce back? So Tatis has to go through a lot before he can finally make his way back to the field, and even when he does, it might take him some time to get back to his full potential.
Driven to deep center field. The ball going back, and that ball is gone. Home run for Fernando.
Of course, he'll have a lot to prove if he wants things to go back to the way they used to be, and that will require a lot of effort. Fans at the moment won't let the situation pass. In fact, just recently, one of the Dodgers fans threw an inflated PED on the field during their game against the Padres. This was obviously done to troll the team and its fallen player, and if the Padres are any smart, they should definitely expect more of these attacks. But the important thing is that Tatis Jr. shouldn't let this hold him back from his progress. That's a wrap for this video, folks. What do you make of Fernando Tatis Jr. and his PED scandal? Do you think he'll be able to reach his potential again? Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more awesome videos like this. See you in the next one with the latest updates.